Welcome to W&L Sports Weekly. I'm your host, Jeremy Franklin. Joining us on this week's show are women's basketball assistant coach Abby Pyzik, wrestler Richard Knack, and senior men's basketball captain Zac White. But first, here's a look back at last weekend in Washington sports. There's not a whole lot to talk about. The weekend's winter storm forced the cancellation of events for riding, wrestling, and men's basketball. The track and field teams competed at the VMI Winter Relays, which ended up as a dual meet between the Generals and the Keydets due to travel difficulties for the other schools. For the W&L women, senior Maggie Sutherland finished first in the high jump and the 55-meter hurdles, while junior David Dubin placed second in the high jump and the triple jump for the men. After having its game with #1 Guilford postponed, the men's basketball team returned to action on Monday, falling 56-53 to number 18 Randolph-Macon at the Warner Center. First-year Jeremy Atkins tallied a career-best 15 points as the Generals nearly erased a 15-point second-half deficit. And in women's hoops, Washington Lee has built up another three-game winning streak. The Generals edged Randolph 53-51 on Thursday, got past Lynchburg 72-67 on Sunday, and then hammered Emory and Henry 88-53 on Tuesday. In the big win over the Wasps, 6 Generals scored in double figures, with first-year Katie Wilson posting her first career double-double with 14 points and 11 rebounds. With me now is the assistant coach of the Generals, Abby Pyzik. Abby, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jeremy. Glad to be here.
What will a big win like you had Tuesday night do for your team's confidence?
You know, yesterday was a fun game. You know, Emory and Henry, first time at their place, only beat them about 10 to 15 points, and it was a pretty tight game for most of the time. So our kids came out really wanting to prove a point at home, and it's been pretty cool. The last 4 of our 5 games is at home, so that makes it a really nice confidence booster on that. But to have 6 kids in double digits just shows the importance of our team first attitude, which has been, you know, holding us together for the whole season. And with sharing the ball, we're really pretty cool to watch when it gets down to it, with all of you know, sharing it and moving it and things like that. And then to have Katie have her first double-double is a lot of confidence from our younger kids that give us a huge spark off our bench, with Rachel Work too having a career high 16 points last night. And then being able to play all of our kids really made it a lot of fun to get them out there as well.
You faced some adversity early in the season, a 2-6 start, albeit against a very tough schedule. But since then, Washington Lee is 10-2. What's happened on the floor to turn things around? You
know, I kind of laugh because we get this question a lot. I know Coach King gets it too, and our team has been the same, you know, for the whole season. Coach puts together a really tough non-conference schedule for a great purpose, and her philosophy, our philosophy, as a staff, is to play the best to be the best. And so to really go out there in the beginning and to play Mary Wash, who's now ranked 24th in the nation, and to play CNU, who's 15th in the nation, and then to go on the road to San Diego, which was an awesome trip, to top that and beat a number 21 team, Capital, at the time, really put us in a good spot to play the best. So when we got to conference action, we were prepared. Those things have really helped us become a better team overall. So when we're going through this stretch, and this tough stretch coming up where we play the top in the conference, we're very prepared and very confident.
You're a former All-ODAC performer at Lynchburg College, and for players who come back to the conference and coach at another school, you have to face your old team twice. But you, in a sense, have to do that 4 times, twice against your alma mater and twice against your college coach, Richie Wagner, who's now at Hollins. What is that like, going up against the Hornets and going up against Coach Wagner?
You know, last year, well, a year and a half ago when Coach King gave me the opportunity to come here, I was really excited. You know, I have a really strong passion for this conference, and obviously basketball is the best sport, I think, you know, around. So coming back to this conference was just an awesome opportunity. And to play against Lynchburg and Coach was actually funny the first time around, is to step on that court and see a familiar face on the other side. And luckily I've only lost once since then, last year to Lynchburg. But other than that, it's really cool to get to go back. And it's also cool to be able to share that with my players, with our players, to show them too that, you know, this is where I played, I also played in that, and I share that kind of common bond with them as well. So. And the other neat thing, too, is that Caleb Kimbrough, our new men's assistant, is also from Guilford. So to see him come in and the light in his eyes as well of being passionate about the ODAC has been really neat to share that too and see that in him as well. So, and then obviously seeing Coach down at Hollins, he gave me an awesome opportunity to come and play basketball. I had torn my ACL my senior year, and I was tiny and all legs and all arms, and he really gave me a chance to, come in and peak in my college career. And so I just have overwhelming respect for him, and to play against him and to see him on the floor is just very special to me.
Getting back to the Generals, you've got a very tough week to finish out the regular season. What are the keys to continue things against those tough opponents and then moving forward into the ODAC tournament?
Definitely. This week is a big week, and our girls are definitely pumped up for it. Last night, going into locker room after the game, to see in their eyes a very clear vision is really awesome. And for the journey we've gone through this year, we're ready to go with the last 4 games. I mean, we hit Macon this weekend, then EMU and Roanoke and Bridgewater. And so our girls are definitely on a mission to take care of business. I think the big key and the thing that we've gone through the whole year is that we really put our team first. And so we're together, we're disciplined, and we're very tough at times. And if we can do that through the whole stretch of this last stretch, we'll be really a dangerous team going into the tournament. I also think that another big thing is our offensive execution. If we can get it into our paint and get some really good post touches, and then if we can pay attention to detail in our offense, I think we'll be very, very dangerous. I mean, when we play together as a team and we sacrifice ourselves for our team first, we're really unstoppable, and it's really awesome to watch. So I think that's a big key. And then the last 2 things I would say is probably taking care of the basketball, which has been a big thing for us. And our kids, on top of that, have come into new roles this season and really, excelled with that. And so it's been really nice to go all through that. And then lastly, I think the biggest thing is rebounding. If we can finish our defensive rebounding and really finish the game strong, we're going to be a really special team and really tough to beat. I told Coach King this morning, I met with her, and I actually woke up this morning with the vision of her talking in the locker room at the championship game. And that's the first time I've really felt that belief, and we see that in the locker room. And so I get chills when I think about it, but I see us there in that championship game and then, playing in that. So it's pretty awesome.
Well, Abby, thank you for joining us. Good luck as you pursue that conference title.
Thanks.
With me now is Zac White, senior basketball captain from Baltimore. Zac, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
How do you recover like a tough loss against Randolph-Macon, the one you had on Monday night?
I feel like our team has been through this situation before. This season we were down Bridgewater at home and came back and ended up losing by 4. And Sydney at their place, we were down a lot and came back and lost by 1 or 2 possessions. Really, we just have to stay focused and move on. It hurts to lose by 1 possession, whether you're down 15 or not. So we just need to move on, and we have a bunch of tough games coming up, long stretch with not many practices in between. So we have to stay focused.
The first time you played the Yellow Jackets on the road in Ashland, you got the win there for the first time since 1959, first time that a men's basketball team had won at Randolph-Macon. Will you still look back at that win after the season as one of the highlights of this year, if not of your career?
Most definitely. It feels great to be a part of something like that. A 50-year streak was broken, and I had a part to do it. And I couldn't help but think about the team last year and teams in the past where we've been so close to beating them, and we finally got it. I feel like a weight has been lifted off our shoulders, and that's definitely one of the highlights of my career. I put it up against it with our ODAC tournament run last year, and definitely making it overtime at home 2 years ago.
You've had an up and down ride this season, which is to be expected with a very young roster. What have been the reasons for the recent upswing?
I think, our freshmen have definitely grown up since the beginning. They're much more confident. They feel more comfortable, in our offense and our defensive schemes. I also think we've definitely been turning the ball over less. That's been a huge problem in our losses in the past. I know against, for example, Lynchburg, we won that game, but we squeaked it out in overtime, and we had 29 turnovers. So we've been cutting it down recently, and we've definitely been forcing more turnovers from our opponents. So it's been, we're getting more possessions, and we're limiting other teams to their possessions.
What will the Generals need to do to sustain their current level of play as you get closer to the ODAC tournament?
Definitely keep our defensive pressure up, force turnovers, and take care of the ball like we've been doing. I also think we need to definitely stay focused on the games. we have so many games coming up. We need to focus on one game at a time, not look over teams like maybe, teams in the bottom of the pack, because we have like 3 ranked opponents coming up. So we need to take it a game at a time, maybe even play by play. So we tend to get distracted, and that's when we make mistakes.
Well, Zach, thank you for joining us. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks for having me.
With me now is Richard Knack, senior wrestler from Woodbridge, Virginia. Richard, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
What factors did you consider when choosing to come to Washington and Lee and participate on the wrestling team?
Well, I took into consideration factors that I think that most high school seniors think about. Academics, extracurriculars, size played an important role for me. I was looking at UVA and William & Mary, kind of similar academic schools, but I felt like the ability to continue wrestling after I started freshman year of high school, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to, but the ability to continue if I wanted to was a large factor for me. Also, my dad went here in 1976 and wrestled under Coach Frakey for 2 years, and I think that's a pretty cool fact. Makes us a little bit closer together.
What has been your favorite experience as a student athlete here?
I just thinking about this a few minutes ago. I had to rack my brain, but that would have to be sophomore year when we beat Muhlenberg and Ursinus in a quad meet. It came down to John Christopher at heavyweight stepping up, and he did that. Aside from that, I think that it's not really an experience. It's just a whole atmosphere that the wrestling team provides. I look forward to going to practice and trying to better myself with a group of guys who really are dedicated to working hard and rebuilding this team.
Who's been the most influential person for you during your time at W&L?
That's also a pretty difficult question to answer. I'd have to categorize it by the positions I've had in the wrestling team. Obviously the wrestling team, Coach Frankie and Coach Bennett and now Coach Waters have really taken interest in me and the team and trying to make us better. Also, my sophomore year, I felt a strong connection with the seniors, the guys from 08, who really pushed the whole team to strive. Also, I would have to say Clay Coleman and Terry Cugliari from when I was president of Fiji, as well as our house mother, they really helped me get through that role, which was a new thing for me, the leadership position. And then I have to say, I guess Dean Dodson, he helped me transform me into a responsible RA very quickly. And he's genuinely interested in what I'm doing and the wrestling team. He's always, offering me protein shakes, trying to get me bigger.
What do you see in store for Washington and Lee wrestling in the future?
I see good things. In the near future, we have conference championships. Right after we have a big dual meet against Johns Hopkins, and then the conference championships. We've been pretty banged up this season. Guys messing up their knees all over the place. I've been fortunate enough to stay injury-free, and we're just looking to surprise some people at conferences. Come out there, giving it our all. In the next few years, I've heard that we're going to double our size of our team next year with freshman recruits who are high caliber wrestlers, and I hope that continuing to do that through Bennett's and Frankie's guidance, we'll be able to rebuild and actually make a difference in this conference and really fight for a top spot in it.
Richard, thank you for joining us here. Good luck the rest of the season.
Thanks for having me.
It certainly doesn't look or feel like spring outside, but several of the spring sports will kick off their seasons this weekend. Meanwhile, the winter teams move closer to the postseason with one ODAC title already on the line. The tennis teams begin the spring portion of the schedule against Division I competition. The women host Radford on Thursday, while the men travel to Furman on Friday. The women's swimming team seeks its 3rd consecutive conference championship, competing at the Christiansburg Aquatic Center from Friday through Sunday. The men's and women's track and field teams return to Pennsylvania for the Susquehanna Indoor Classic on Saturday. The women's basketball team will face defending ODAC champion Randolph-Macon at the Warner Center at 2 p.m. Saturday, with the men heading north to take on Bridgewater at 3. On Sunday, the wrestling team plays host to East Tennessee State, West Virginia Tech, and Centennial Conference rival Johns Hopkins. And on Monday, the men's hoops team will take on top-ranked Guilford at 7 o'clock at the Warner Center. For W&L Sports Weekly, I'm Jeremy Franklin. Thanks for watching.